Hello. Today is a very special episode. We'll be looking at the all-mysterious Enderman. We're going to be looking at some of the Enderman's key features like teleportation and their tall, slender bodies. Many people associate this creature, I'll say, with Slenderman. No, I don't really. I think that they were based off of Slenderman. I just don't really agree totally that they are Slenderman in a way. But as you can see, this is kind of my sad building of. Well, it's not supposed to be an actual Enderman, but it's supposed to be like a skeleton thing. I'll explain why I built this and why there's redstone here and sticky pistons and all that. So let's get right into it. So first topic. Hold on, let me set this to. Let me set this to day. Quick. So first of all is our teleportation. I've concluded that the most likely way that this is possible would be through a wormhole. So a wormhole, for those of you who do not know, which I'm sure some of you do not really know, basically an unstable portal that as soon as it opens, it just wants to close back up again. It just wants to close back up again as soon as it opens, so it's not really going to get that big. I'm not really going to go into great detail about all the negative mass, effects of gravity, and all the complex equations involved with wormholes, but basically, you would need a negative mass, which would keep up which is created along with positive mass, but they fuse back together as soon as, well, this is getting a little too complicated. I'll just sum it up and say that since a wormhole opens and closes super fast, they are super tiny, and you need negative mass to keep it open for longer and have it grow bigger. Well, so the question is how do they control the power? Well, if they really truly can control this power, then they could really just control all of space-time. And if you really think about it, controlling all of space-time would mean that they could destroy the overworld. And if they truly have this power to control all of space-time, then, well, they could be plotting against us. And now that, well, we know this information, that could be really big towards our theory. So, really, it's kind of strange that now they've been spotted, according to the update little page when you open Minecraft, the old Minecraft, there would be a little update that said, the Endermen have been spotted, quote unquote, they've been spotted in the Nether. And so they could be plotting against us to destroy the Nether, possibly make these worlds, which are unstable, as well you know, because they're basically just floating over the void. So if they become unstable and they fall into the void, and everything would be destroyed. So that's something to take into consideration, I think. They're plotting against us, and they could destroy everything using their space-time powers, because according to modern-day physics, that's the easiest way I can explain that they can teleport. Because, I mean, teleportation is not really logical. It's not really, can't really do anything with that. It's not like, oh yeah, simple explanation, yeah, you can teleport because you use your mind waves or something like that. And I really don't see any scientific evidence behind that. But a wormhole is something that makes sense. So if they could control a wormhole, then, well, they could control space-time. So they could, well, I'm sure some of you have heard the theory that Minecraft is cylindrical, so it's a big giant cylinder. That's why there's no, that's why it doesn't curve. So it's just a flat surface on top right here, and then as we dig down, we get to bedrock, and that's our cylinder. And for the super flat world, it is a very short cylinder. Like, not very thick. Like, we got four blocks thick of cylinder. So it's not very big. But so, I'm sure most of you have seen that, so that they orbit every 20 minutes. We orbit around the sun in Minecraft, and then the moon orbits 20 minutes around us. So, I'm not sure if I said the sun orbits around us, but that is incorrect if I said that. We orbit around the sun. So, well, really the thing is that, so, the Endermen, when they teleport, and when you use an Ender Pearl, and I'll get to Ender Pearls later, is that we've got these Endermite things. What are these Endermite things? What do they do? What are these things supposed to be? I don't have Endermites, but I'll bring one up. Oh, you don't get Endermites in there. I thought you did. Well, I'll try to spawn one using these Ender Pearls. I'll try. I'll see. But I'll talk as we're teleporting around, doing random things as we teleport. But, so, speaking of Ender Pearls, they're like, what I like to think of them as is this talisman. I'm not sure most of you know what talisman are, but they're basically where, what did I do? They're basically where magical creatures, I know I'm saying that, magical, even though this is based on logical explanations, but, so, they're basically the source of power. So when Endermen die, they drop an Ender Pearl, as if it were not a part of them. So imagine a little item frame right here. I would put that, but I just don't. I didn't really do that, but you got a little Ender Pearl right here inside the item frame. That's their talisman that they use to teleport. So these Ender Pearls are really like these magical. Okay, I'm not gonna say magical, but these are like these wormhole storage capsules or something, because this is based on physics and logic and science and all of that. But getting back to Endermites, some people say that Endermites are baby Endermen. I think that's a perfectly logical explanation. I remember seeing, I might not be remembering correctly, but I remember seeing the Mojang team releasing, saying that they were going to do something. They had a plan for these specific Endermites. So, we've got that. That's a little strange, saying that they've got a plan for these guys. So, maybe they're parasites or something that are latching on. They're like silverfish that latched into the Enderman when, like, I don't know, a teleport or something. Some people think that these Endermites are, they're just like these little things they called Ender Rifts. This is trademarked, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get like sued or anything. But they call this Ender Rift. Trademarked, I gotta say that every time. On Reddit, a user named Ender Rift. Not surprisingly, they trademarked their own name. But, so they called it an Ender Rift, saying that these Endermites are from the Ender Rift, and whenever an Enderman teleports, or in our case, uses a wormhole, then these little parasite things, they filter out of the void, or the wormhole. They kind of get out. They live inside. That space. So that's that. So we got onto the fact of these endermite things that are planning to be used, they're planning to be made. Some people say that they're used to hatch the Ender Dragon egg in a future update, or they're used to ride the Ender Dragon. I'm not sure where people are basing this information, but again, it's probably just a theory. They just thought, oh, it'd be a good idea if you could hatch the Ender Dragon egg with these guys, or you could ride the Ender Dragon with these guys, since they spawn very rarely whenever you teleport, I believe. Well, that's because I got this on peaceful. Well, I said this they're normal. We'll teleport around, we'll probably get one now. But they do spawn rarely. I'm assuming, since we're on normal, we still haven't found one. I've done it maybe 15 times already. But, so, getting on to the Enderman's, like, eyes. So, when Enderman gets enraged, they, well, if you look into their eyes, then they get enraged. So that's kind of weird. You'd think that you look in their eyes and like, hey buddy, I need to kill you now. But I've got a theory for that as well. That, you know, remember that Eye of Ender thing that you had to use to get to the end? What if they were actually the eyes of Endermen? And noticing that you use an Ender Pearl and some blaze powder to create these eyes of Ender, you'd think, oh, well, there's a saying that some people have a burning gaze. So you'd think, oh, well, just for my theory, that the player would have a burning gaze, and as they look into the Enderman's eyes, it would set the blaze powder aflame, and then the Enderman would be mad at the player, or angered or enraged at the player who set his eyeballs on fire. And then they would open their mouth like this. I'm sure some of you would, well, most of you, I hope, would know. They open their mouth and there's a hole in there, and they start screaming at you. So that's what this contraption is for. It's for demonstrating this. They're opening their mouth. But to them opening their mouth, I have a specific theory that these Endermen, that when they open their mouth, right, that their upper jaw isn't connected to their bottom jaw. So we've got these slime blocks to represent their jaw lifting up everything, but this is definitely not to scale of an Enderman. This is the best I could get for demonstrating this, so definitely going to be a lot smaller. But what I call the piston jaw. So, not surprisingly, it uses a piston right here. So, I flip the switch, piston goes up, and he opens his mouth there. And I say, well, these pistons aren't connected to the bottom jaw, right? So, bottom jaw is connected to the neck right here. And then we got the upper jaw, which basically rests on the bottom jaw until they get enraged and their piston-like jaw pushes up their upper jaw, which makes them open their mouth and scream at you. Not sure that's the right word. That sounds a little weird. But they start yelling at you. I'll say that sounds better. They start yelling at you, and they attack you. So that's their weird body structure. Like, they've got this piston jaw, not trademarked, that pushes their upper jaw, which the upper jaw is only connected to the body through the piston jaw, which is connected to their spine. And their spine connected to their chest, etc., etc. And that's basically their head structure, how they open their mouth, how I think that they have that hole in the back of their head. Has anyone seen that? Anyone noticed that when they open their mouth, there's a hole in the back of their head? Like, there's a little flap on the on their upper jaw that hides over it when their mouths are closed and you can't really see it. And when they open it, that flaps off of it, and then they see straight, and you see straight through their mouth. I'm not sure if anyone's noticed that other than me, but I notice it. I mean, that's why I got this piston jaw thing, or else I would think, oh, they just got a jaw that opens straight up, like that, like how a normal jaw would work, that you just push down on your jaw and it opens. But yes, that hole is what's accounting for this big statue, or else I wouldn't have made it, to demonstrate to you this theory. So, back to how the Endermen are made. Well, not back to, but so how the Endermen are made, are born, etc., all that stuff. Well, so some people say that they're born from the void. I mean, I'm not, and some say they're from the Endermites. I'm not to say which is right. There's probably some other theories. That's just the two I can think of. Well, I think that the origin of these, where they're from, how they are born, etc., all that stuff, will stay hidden for a while, I think. Stay hidden for a while. Until some new updates come and release information about all that stuff. Just all that. Just I think that, yeah, that with new updates, new evidence will come to rise and they'll present itself. Maybe I'll make another video, but about the Endermen if new updates come out. This is the first episode video in our Minecraft Theories series. Wow, that sounds a little weird. That's a tongue twister. Minecraft Theories series. Huh, that's weird. But that is our theory for today. The Endermen, how they work, how their teleportation works, how their jaws work, I guess. I mean, they're obviously not a shark. They're not jaws. They're but we got that. So that's our theory for today. More videos will be coming out soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Ayla Minecracker, and goodbye.